Hey, it's Todd Ault. It's January 7th. It is the 7th day of 2022. I love the 7th. We love the 7, as Jason and I will talk about. It's one of our favorite cards, right? Jason, I start off with the 7-2 card when I'm playing poker. And for some reason, I usually pull in another 2 sevens. How about you? Is that your favorite hand, Jason?
No, but somehow you win with that trash. I like aces, pocket aces, Todd.
Yeah, for me, I lose with pocket aces, which is how I feel right now, that I have pocket aces where the market cap of BitNile is probably around 100 million, and yet we bought 100 million worth of miners so far. So I don't have any idea what the hell is going on in the marketplace, but I refuse to deal with it because what can I do about it? We're going to have some special guests today. It's good to be the king. One of, I don't know how to say this, probably one of my favorite guys when it comes to hanging out. I saw some great jazz with him recently. Really, actually, he's one of the most fascinating guys I know. And we're going to have Rip and Dip on. And Rip and Dip is really gaining a following. He really understands naked brands and Cenntro, but is raw. He's easy to understand, and he feels honest to me. I love having this guy on. Jordan, everyone would know him as. Skylar, what's happening over in Las Vegas? I'm in, of course, Manhattan in New York, where it snowed today. I woke up to a white January 7th. What's happening with you?
It's actually really nice. Like, it hasn't been that cold. The weather's been great. The tortoises were out this morning, which was great because I haven't seen them out of their little house in like a couple weeks. I was surprised to have Jason come in. Like, I just walked out of my office and he was coming. I was like, oh, great, another person in the office, because it's just been quiet and lonely over there. So
yeah, we are on COVID lockdown in Vegas. We're on COVID lockdown in New York. I'm at an office in which there's nobody here, and it feels like an episode of The Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
We're going to cover today, for those of you newly watching the program, we're going to cover naked brands, Cenntro. We're going to cover Bitcoin, but let's first get to the market, Jason. What's happening today with what feels like a very bad market in small caps, one of the worst I've seen in 32 years. These are very big sell-offs in small caps, and they're performing terribly. But what's happening, Jason, in your opinion, with the market? What's up with the numbers?
Yeah, you can't really blame the overall market volume on tax sell-offs, because that is no longer an issue. We're just not seeing much volume at all in the equities markets. I was looking to find some value. I was searching around, scouring sectors, and I did find a few tickers that I'm very interested in. A couple of them are old friends. We're going to revisit those a little bit later, but let's talk about the overall market indicators. The Dow Jones Industrial actually finished pretty flat today, down 5 points, 36,231. The NASDAQ was actually down 145. Tech stocks have been selling off higher than the value plays on the Dow. 14,935 down 145. S&P down 19, 4677. When we look at the hard assets, copper, 440 a pound, up 4 cents. Gold was a little bit back, closer to 1,800, 1796. And silver, 2239. That was good for a 20-cent gain. It looks like oil finally had a negative day, 78.89 for 1 barrel of light sweet crude. That was down 57 cents. You're going to feel this at the gas pumps, especially states that have higher taxes. It depends on where you live. But as when I was in Florida for all of December, I enjoyed pretty reasonable gas prices, under $3. When I went through Texas and Oklahoma, it was like $2.60, $2.70. Here in Vegas, Todd, you know, we're closer to $4. So that's what we have right now.
Jason, I saw a number today about inflation at 5% in the Eurozone. I don't know if you saw the same number I saw. What I am confused. Okay, so you have gold, silver prices lower. I don't know where steel prices are right now. Mm-hmm. I see oil at 78, close to $79 a barrel. You have a Fed that is going to roll off and taper quicker, which implies that they're worried about maybe a heating economy. You saw job numbers that were poor today, but unemployment that was strong.
Yeah.
You have Bitcoin down.
Yeah. I could.
Where's the inflation hedge here?
Well, I mean, the jobless claims is 199,000. That was not that great. The only reason unemployment drops is because of the formula that they use. They use the U6 unemployment method, which doesn't take into consideration people that don't find jobs within 30 days literally fall off the actual formula. So you can have abysmal jobs reporting and still have the unemployment go down. You've seen this happen in the past. That's nothing new. As far as the inflation goes, it's similar with the formula with the CPI as well. So those numbers aren't real indicators of what's actually going on in the economy. And like you said regarding the Fed, the $120 billion a month that the Fed has been buying in mortgage-backed securities and bonds, they say they're going to taper. The Minnesota Fed chair was talking about accelerating the speed of which they taper, which is going to be they could see some taperage in March. You could see a rate hike in March of a quarter point. I don't really see that. If they really want to crash this thing, they could probably do that, and I think we're looking at really, really bad economy and really, really bad market. The dollar, though, we didn't talk about the dollar, the DXY. Actually, the DXY was under 96 today. That's usually been the only bright spot, the greenbacks, because of all the other fiat currencies that have been failing around the world. Lebanon, Turkey, a lot of countries, obviously Greece, a lot of these countries. In fact, El Salvador was using the dollar. They switched to Bitcoin. They don't even have a currency, to my knowledge. So we're seeing a strength in the dollar, sell-off in Bitcoin. There was supposed to be Bitcoin. Everyone was supposed to take their Bitcoin off the exchanges and lock them up on January 5th, I believe. Nothing happened there. They're trying to limit the amount of coins on the exchanges, so there couldn't be as much selling pressure. We didn't see that. Bitcoin right now 41,600, Ethereum 3,200. So not a lot of love going on in the crypto space right now.
Yeah, coming up, guys, we're gonna have Rip and Dip traders on, and then it's going to be the King. They'll be joining us intermittently. We'll be talking about Cenntro, which is the old Naked Brands. Jason had a chance to meet with them at CES. I want to talk about May 12th through the 15th. We'll be doing a Risk On convention at the Paris Hotel. Stay tuned for that. Jason, can we cover and let's talk about and transition to your meeting last night with Cenntro? Any relevant parts of Cenntro you want to talk about? I'm excited to see this transformation going on at Naked Brands. I know when we talk to Rip and Dip, he'll give us some commentary about what's happened post-split with the price. I have some people that I know that are in a little bit of pain with that split-adjusted price. How did your meeting go last night with them?
It went really well. We're going to get into I'm glad that the King and Rip and Dip are on. These guys are experts with Naked Brands. I've been super busy. But as far as the meeting goes with Cenntro, I got to meet Marianne McInerney. She's really, really sharp lady. And we spent about a better part of 2 hours talking about all kinds of stuff. She likes baseball. I played ball. She loves poker. So we talked about a lot of stuff. Can't get into some of the stuff that we talked about. However, we did talk about their new facility in Jacksonville, Florida. Obviously, I love Florida. It's a great bullish state for business. Now they're at the port of Jacksonville. Cenntro will be building vehicles there. And we did talk about the 2,000 unit contract that they had in Japan. We talked about a lot of logistical stuff, but all in all, it was a very good meeting. Can't disclose a lot of it, but it was very, very good to meet her. Great lady.
Let's go to Rip and Dip. Jordan, can you hear us?
Loud and clear, Todd.
Hey, Jordan, welcome back to the show. Hope all is well with you and the family. I'm curious as to your take. I'm trying to get the number of shares outstanding of Cenntro sort of post-split. Where do we stand right now in terms of the number of those shares outstanding?
So according to the last filing to the exact share, we have 261,256,205 ordinary shares outstanding as of Jan 4th of this year, which is not reflected in any of the brokerages that I'm aware of. It's a big issue amongst the community. This lack of transparency, or this, in my opinion, it seems purposeful delay of information. We had to reach out to all the brokers. We had to reach out to Yahoo Finance to get the company profile changed because retail was trading off of, an apparel company, and that was dropping like a rock. They didn't really understand the reverse split, and new investors looking at it said, hey, this thing is in absolute free fall due to a reverse split. Little did they know we didn't reverse split to regain compliance. That was just one part of the reverse split, but to maintain that VWAP price of 5 for 5 to merge with an industry leading commercial EV company.
Jason, what's the chart look like on Naked Brands right now? Is the symbol changed, Jason? Can you give everyone an update of where we are?
The symbol hasn't changed. The CUSP changed. I don't know if you guys can bring this up. Brett, do you have my screen here? Yeah. Okay, I'm on Finviz.com here. Naked Brands closed under $4 today, $3.98. I think King and Jordan, they gave me the pre-split number. That would be around 26 to 27 cents pre-reverse split.
26.6.
Yeah, so market cap, that's probably a lot of this information here on Finviz obviously is not accurate because it doesn't reflect the total OS outstanding shares. In fact, we were talking before we got on air, and a lot of the brokerages and the news aggregators haven't even reported that Naked Cenntro has met compliance. So that's kind of frustrating too if you're a shareholder.
Hey, Jason, what's that market cap then? It's 261 million times effectively 4.
Yeah, that's about right. What's that, about billion one? Just off the top of my head.
No, it's 1 billion and 45 million.
Okay, yeah. So,
and in terms of what we think the company size is going to be, I'm going to bring on it's the King real quickly here. I saw you. Welcome to the show, King. It's good to be the King, Steve. I interact with what I call you, but I've been calling you King forever now, so we're just going to kind of stick with that. I saw that you tweeted out to Jordan's son. I saw that.
The man doesn't have a Twitter. What else am I supposed to do?
Yeah, I got you. Do you or Rip and Dip have an idea of where you guys think this market cap should be relative to other EV companies? And then Steve, I want to hear your commentary on why you think it's traded down after the split.
Well, the market cap. Well, we need an evaluation. That's the biggest thing. I tweeted something and I was saying, Jordan knows this. I think I was saying to Jason that if you look at in the filing last night, the 33,000 warrants that can be exercised at $202, that I can't do it, but I think there's got to be some reverse engineering in there from that number to find what the right evaluation of market cap should be. I think
about 50 billion.
50 billion. I think I'd be happy with 10. Should it be 10? I don't think so. But, just last week we stopped selling bras. So.
Well, King, let's take a look at, if you don't mind, Brett, let's pull up ticker symbol on my screen here. LCID, Lucid Motors, if you will. Real quick, guys, real quick. Lucid Motors on Finviz.com. Let's take a little look. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for the viewers here. Give me 1 second. Bear with me. So Lucid, to my knowledge, help me here a little bit. Have they brought a product to marketplace, guys?
Jordan?
They have concepts, and I believe I don't know if they have actually delivered. See, I haven't been looking at Lucid too much because they're more consumer discretionary.
Sure. I'm just looking at multiples here. That was the first one that came to mind. I mean, we're looking at Lucid here as a $70 billion market cap. Currently, right now, closed up today 3.76%, just under $42. Again, if we just are to just scour along the sector, what's
Rivian has a $77.7 billion market cap, and they haven't brought one vehicle to market.
Yeah, King, I brought them up now. Here they are right here. RIVM, 77.5.
I mean, the only thing about Rivian is that Amazon, I believe, owns about, somewhere between 19 to 30% of them.
Yeah.
So, having that stake from such a big name inflated them and bubbled them up a little bit. I believe they're now trading under their IPO price. So
Todd.
once again,
Oh, sorry, Rip.
you know,
Go ahead.
Everybody's
compare
trading under their
ourselves.
IPO price.
Let's be fair,
that?
Todd, real quick. Look at let's be fair now. Let's look at ticker symbol MULN, Mullen. We have a position in Mullen for full disclosure. That market cap's $103 million. Closed around $4.70 today. You can see all the techs have been selling off, small caps have been selling off. So it's not fair to really judge Mullen on those merits. But again, they don't have a, as far as I know, they don't have a car to the marketplace yet. But again, you could make a case to say that MULN is undervalued. I'm not recommending this stock. I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm just pointing it out, the low end and the high end. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like Cenntro, which is delivering cars and is doing a lot of the last mile stuff, would be a critical component to that sort of last mile business. And I understand that of the 2,000 vehicles, some of those are for Amazon in Asia, or part of that mix, right? I think this is going to be a natural process of Cenntro getting the word out, getting analyst coverage for people to find out about it. I think it's very new, this reverse merger they did into Naked Brands. And I point out that I think they ended with $300 million of cash. Am I wrong about that, Jason? Was that not the number?
No, I think that's the number. Absolutely. Yep.
Their one filing said they have after that's what they ended with, but currently they sit at 250 million plus in cash and less than 10 million in liabilities.
Right. So you look at a market cap of $1 billion with $250 million of it in cash, with orders on the books, and they've already been delivering vehicles. Can make an argument,
revenue and generating revenue.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can make an argument that there's going to be some valuation in there that has to make sense between what Lucid and Rivian and all these others are trading for relative to them. So some analysts will eventually step up and say, hey, here's a player already doing business in last mile. Kind of last mile stuff, isn't that kind of a workhorse type of thing versus, I don't know, what Rivian is making a pickup truck, are they not?
Yeah, Workhorse WKHS is on my screen now. It's funny you mentioned that. I just pulled them up. Now, they've had a lot of interesting scenarios with the U.S. Postal Service. Workhorse has sold off tremendously, $4.11, market cap $670 million. But, they've had a lot of situations. They've had some executive changes over the last 3 months. So it appears, just to me on the surface, that last mile delivery, it appears that it's open for business for Cenntro. I think they could possibly be a leader in that segment as far as the last mile and even like the last 25 to 100 feet. I don't want to get too much into that, but that's something that's open for competition. It looks like they have the opportunity to be the leader there. Just my opinion.
Yeah, for full disclosure, we have maintained from time to time a position in Naked Brands and Cenntro. And if you're listening to the show, you should consider us to have at all times some sort of conflict because we belong. We're not recommending the buying and selling of Cenntro or Naked Brands, whatever you would call it right now, depending on what the symbol is. Hey, King, anything you want to cover here on Cenntro? I know you know a lot about this. You have your commentary on it. We'll come back to Jordan after this.
Well, how we're this low, it's comical, right? I don't know. I was going to buy these deep in the money 250 Jan 21 calls on this thing because they're in the money. You break evens at 506 and it's delta 99.9. It's like, but I bought the dip. Any lower and I'm going to be in China. I mean, how much further can they dig?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I unfortunately, after 32 years of doing this or more, stocks can go higher than you ever thought possible and lower than you ever thought imaginable. But the interesting thing here is that they do have stock options. I think that's a really interesting development for them because that implies that the marketplace believes they're going to trade. The marketplace believes there's going to be an opportunity to be part of something in terms of hedging and value creation and providing the market tools to do that. I actually think that's a great sign that they have options.
When you're when your company and you're allowed and not in a blackout period to buy shares and you're below book value and it's Black Friday prices, you do it. Let's get Peter Wang and all these guys to start buying at these. I mean, something's got to give. They can't just keep, trying to execute like an option squeeze where they use the naked shorts to short it to oblivion and then use these newfound options to make the thing go up. I mean, at some point, somebody's got to start losing money other than the retail investor.
Yeah, I actually think the options are interesting right now. Jordan, do you trade any options?
I'm not right now, for several reasons. I'm just holding shares. I considered just selling some near-term covered calls, really, for like the 1250 strikes that are expiring, but they're so cheap right now. But that would just be getting in a little bit of premium for me. But I will say that the put to call ratio, if you go out to April, the put to call ratio is 0 from the January 3. That means no puts were open and there was no volume in puts and all call interest. So if it's 1, it's equal. If it's over 1, it's more bearish. If it's under 1, for those who don't know, I know you guys know. But overall, in general, the put to call ratio right now, as it currently stands, is 0.32, which is very bullish. So it is showing bullish sentiment. I don't really want to dabble with the options because for me, I'm in a situation in life where I can hold this as a value play. Did I make the most intelligent decisions in terms of a trader by not selling on all the pops and everything like that? I'll say no, but I'm not really looking at this as a tradable play for me. For me, this is a sheer value play. I own this stock in 2 accounts. One of them I own it at 1.6 billion market cap. The other one I own it at 1.4. And I have no problem holding this for a year or two, banking on the fact that it's worth more than that. So I really haven't dabbled with the options other than the consideration, and only because I didn't think it would reach 1250 by the 21st of January. But the what I would be risking there is the potential above that. And for the little bit of money that I would be making in premium until that date, I don't even really want to risk this thing, taking off without me and giving up my shares that I've held for a long time and I put a lot of time and effort into. So I want to squeeze every little bit I can out of this thing,
Hey, Jason, your thoughts on Cenntro and the old Naked Brands having options?
Well, I can't really comment much on I don't really want to comment much on actual trading or the options market with Naked and Cenntro. I do just want to say that it was great to meet somebody from the company last night, and I just look forward to seeing their progression with their facility in Jacksonville. And overall, I just like to see what's going on in the electrification of the grid. As everyone knows, we have a subsidiary in the sector as well. So I'm excited for the overall sector. And it looks like the big play is going to reduce as many internal combustion engines on the planet as possible. I like to be a part of that, and I look forward to Cenntro executing their business plan.
And not only do we have investments in EV, like with EV chargers and stuff like that, but we obviously own a part of UES, which is transforming the bus fleets over time into EV vehicles. More on that later, but obviously we did announce that we have an investment there.
Todd, can I just say 2 quick things at the end of that? One, I've learned never again holding through a reverse split, even if I'm inclined to do so. Never again. And the thing that you've talked about in interviews in the past about having, cash on hand and what happened in 2009, 2010 with you, all of that, I tried my best to do it, but you buy so many dips. It doesn't matter how diversified you are. When everything goes down, there's only, what's the bottom?
Yeah, I'm all too familiar, King, with the idea of not having cash, and it's interesting to me because we've spent, we bought 160 million worth of miners, I think 167 million worth of miners to expand our Michigan facility. I think we put an enormous amount of cash to work there, bought hotels. We're pretty diversified in terms of the company. Obviously, we talked about splitting it up. But we always maintain a certain balance of cash now. I've been down the road of going to zero and not having the cash at the worst time. So we have definitely avoided that this time. That's a perfect transition, but we won't do that yet. Jordan, I would like you to stay, King, with the show if you could. Jordan, your thoughts on Cenntro before we move on to a different topic.
I just think, people forget or they just don't really fully realize that we're capturing a niche market right now. Our vehicles are in use. Universities across the United States are using our Metro for, campus vehicles. They, whether it be vending food, for sporting events, campus maintenance, think of the applications. I did one video where talk about, condo complexes and things like that, where this application will be great, but everyone is sleeping on the fact that our LS400 model does almost have a 200-mile range, 5,600-pound payload capacity. So I think last mile is what we're focusing on right now. And one would argue that that range could still be considered last mile, but I think it's going to be very soon that we see ourselves competing with some of the longer range vehicles with that Logistar 400 model that is, basically going to be coming to market, the Q1 of 2022. And then there's the value of the data that this company provides, the fact that we have our own chip, the autonomous driving applications and everything like that. We have partnerships galore. Tropos Technologies just had a partnership with Ollie. And what they are is, and we obviously, Tropos gets their technology from us. They have an autonomous, pre-designated route, little mini, personnel carrier already out there being used, and just people just don't know about this stuff yet. I mean, our partners run deep with partners, and it will all eventually trickle back to Centro's asset light. They sell the kits. They don't have to deal with, huge stockpiles of inventory, Jacksport, importing raw materials, exporting their product. It's just, to me, it's a wonderful opportunity for growth. It's just whether or not you can stand. If you're not into it right now, not financial advice, in my personal opinion, I would be throwing everything I had at it. But right now, I'm okay with the paper loss I have and letting it sit for what I perceive to be extreme return on my investment.
Hey, we're going to keep a sharp eye on this stock. Those of you who watch the program Risk On, we've been following Naked Brands for a while. We got a lot coming out more about this. We're going to talk about the Risk On conference, whether there'll be vehicles there. We'll talk about what's happening with Cenntro in the future. I definitely think if it were me, and I apologize, I took a call in the middle, someone called me in the middle of the show. If it were me, I'd pay close attention to this, look for an entry point when this thing levels itself out. Jason and I will pay close attention to it. Jason, as we transition and we keep Jordan and the King here with us, I can't help but think that since we have such a large investment in Bitcoin mining, we bring up that chart of Bitcoin and you kind of give us your commentary as to what you think's happening there.
Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Kazakhstan. That's basically the leader of what's going on in the crypto industry. In fact, when you look at the current global exahash, and let me see if I can find this for us. Brett, can you go to my screen real quick, please? Oh, no problem. So Bitcoin hash rate chart here on coinwars.com, you can find this. And we've looked at the 1 week chart here. What we're looking at is the global hash rate, the amount of hash that's being used to mine crypto, Bitcoin in particular. So this is for Bitcoin, and you can see the chart here in the last week. We've gone from about 190, call it 190 exahash, 193 exahash, down to 163 exahash, currently, 167 exahash. Just to give the listeners an idea of what this actually means, we've stated publicly through our press releases that our intentions here in the year of 2022 is to grow our mining fleet and to actually procure enough miners and mine enough Bitcoin to have 2.24 exahash at our Michigan facility. you're looking at the global hash rate of 169 exahash. Little old BitNile is going to come up with 2.24 exahash if everything is, delivered to us from our partners. So that just gives you an idea of the footprint of the global hash rate. For example, Mara has openly stated that their plans are to grow around 20 to 21 exahash. I think they're around 9 to 11 exahash now. It's hard to determine exactly where the companies are in terms of boots on the ground, if you will, actually mining, deploying miners. However, you can find the filings and the press releases and kind of keep up with your favorite tickers to see where they are. But you've noticed Kazakhstan has so much deployed now from China because China banned Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining, that because of the unrest in Kazakhstan, we literally lost, 25, almost 25 exahash. So that's been a big factor here in the mining sector. And again, there's been a lot of selling pressure with the overall markets, where people taking profits from Bitcoin and covering margin calls, or like King says, buying the dip and buying the dip and buying the dip in every industry, in every sector. So yeah, you're looking for winners to try to pare down your losses early in the year. You're not taking a tax loss in January. So that's where we are right now.
Hey, King, what's your thoughts on Bitcoin?
Well, I did say we would end December 31st at 80,000, so they were incorrect. I'm bullish. It's still, I still like fiat, but I can't, it's the future, so get on board or move to Guam.
Hey, Rip and Dip, do you have any commentary on Bitcoin? Do you follow it all?
Yeah, absolutely. I was heavily involved in the crypto space for a long time. It's the one, man. It's the one. Like you mentioned it before, referring to the .com bubble. It's going to be the one that will prevail in all this. I don't think it's going to be impervious to what my opinions are in terms of, any market corrections. It's going to be not just the stock market, but everything. But I believe Bitcoin is going to be the one that rises again when all these other, I'm not going to swear on your program, let's just call them altcoins or crap coins. They're going to just, they're going to go by the wayside completely, and Bitcoin is going to reign them all, and Ethereum as well. But Bitcoin all the way. Bitcoin all the way. Like I said, I really do. I do see some severe corrections coming. That's just my personal opinion. But at the end of the day, this thing is where you're going to want to put that dry powder. I'm considering, liquidating my retirement fund just in cash or some bonds or something like that, just so I can have money to buy any corrections. I don't care if it's 2022, 2023. I'll give up 20% to the upside to buy dips on stocks and crypto if we have a 50 to 90% correction.
Hey, Jason, what's your thoughts on the ratio of Ethereum to Bitcoin? I know that's something you've always paid attention to. Is that ratio still in line with the numbers you like, or where is it?
Let's take a look right now, actually. We're at 41,538. What's Ethereum right now? 31-ish? Let's take a look. Ethereum is currently 3182. Let's see here. Divided by 3182. Yeah, 13 to 1. 13 Ethereum to equal 1 Bitcoin. It's been in that 12 to 15 range for some time now. I think that it probably will stay around there for a while, unlike the the silver to gold ratio, where it's 80 ounces of silver to equal 1 ounce of gold, even though silver is only extracted from the earth at a ratio of about 7 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold. You think about how these CEOs of these junior miners and these mining companies are as far as frustration goes with silver. Silver is a strategic metal, And I think Ethereum is a strategic crypto. So with the blockchain, with talks about election security, countries that want to put their elections on the blockchain for secure reasons. I mean, let's face it, we have a lot of uses for Ethereum. Bitcoin, a storage of value, some say digitally. Bitcoin has a finite number of coins, 21 million. The fiat dollar can be printed over and over. I mean, it's just, if you're really abreast of the situation, you can see why a lot of people are turning to Bitcoin and turning to silver and gold versus the fiat dollar. And, I'm in that camp as well.
Yeah, I will tell you one thing that's different for us at Nile is we have a $350 million shelf completely untapped at this time. We just raised $60 million plus or so, give or take, on a short-term loan where we're moving some assets around. We have a relationship with a firm now where we're able to trade our Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, sell Bitcoin, which we have not done to date. We continue to mine and continue to install new miners. I'm really comfortable with the businesses we own. I think that people are texting me and they're on Twitter and they're a little bit of a panic. And I understand the price is down and they remember back to those reverses. I don't know why anyone would think if we just instituted a $50 million buyback over the next 3 years, why we would be thinking we'd reverse. I don't know that that would make any sense. Just trying to be logical with everybody. My hedge fund, Alt Alpha, has bought 6.35 million shares since September, much of them in the December and November timeframe. I have personally been buying stock in my personal account. I'm very comfortable, which is a weird feeling for me because I'm feeling the pressure of the fact that the stock is down. And I equate it to, well, the businesses aren't down. And while the price of Bitcoin has fallen, we've done some things like we own our own data center. We have power relationships, so we can mine Bitcoin much lower than ever before and still be profitable. So that's why those people out there that wonder why I have a sense of calmness, I've been through a lot of market cycles. This is a strange market cycle. You see Mullen down, you see Cenntro down, you see a lot of stocks like Eni, Riot, Mara, a lot of these things being hit pretty hard. And I understand that there is a market, maybe they're fearing liquidity, et cetera. But I just think this is here to stay, and this is a cycle we've been through. Unfortunately, I lived through the idea that I sold some Amazon on the way down, and I sold some Amazon on the way up. And I thought that was a game-changing technology at one point. I did the same thing with Qualcomm. I did the same thing with many other companies out there that I regret. And so one thing you're going to hear from me is we're going to continue to mine Bitcoin. That's the business we're in. That's the business of Nile. And Alt Alliance, hopefully, when it's spun off, will be in the business of legacy EBITDA businesses that are paid in fiat. I know Jason will be very disappointed to take payment in fiat, would much rather have it in Bitcoin, but I don't have that luxury. Hey, before we sign off with Steven and Jordan, let's get to Skyla real quickly. Skyla, give me the joke of the day if you can.
All right, Asia actually told me this last night at dinner, and I thought it was really funny. So, what do you call a pretentious criminal going down the stairs?
What do you call a pretentious criminal going down the stairs?
A condescending.
A condescending. I will tell you, it's good to be the king joke. I'm sure he wrote that.
What?
It's got to be a joke that he would write, or his good friend. I'm just kidding around. Come on.
That's what you think of me, my abilities. That
I think that's funny. You don't think condescending?
You're of a certain age. I mean, sure.
Hey, I like that.
Wait, King,
Yeah.
King, didn't you get triggered by like one of Skyla's jokes
He
recently?
gets triggered by like everyone.
I don't get triggered. I expect better. From you.
Okay.
There's supposed to be dad jokes.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point of the segment.
Jordan, any thoughts before we move on here about any topics you want to cover? Anything you want to bring up to the audience today?
I think we covered a fair amount. I just think, don't underestimate, Cenntro. I do think market conditions have a lot to do with it. And back to the Bitcoin thing, I think Bitcoin will prevail, even over gold. And I think if there is any sort of corrections or any sort of doubt, I think Bitcoin is going to be the go-to thing and grow at a faster rate than gold, even compared, historically to any other, market corrections that we've had. Gold really wasn't, not all of them, but in some of the bigger ones, gold really wasn't the one that was, pumping back up. And I think this new, cryptocurrency is still in its infancy. And I think, you're doing a hell of a job, and I think you're on the right track, and you got a very forward-thinking mind, and I think that's fantastic. So I think that's really where I wanted to end it, other than Centro's completely undervalued at the moment, in my opinion, too. So.
Hey, some important disclaimers here. Obviously, our guests have their own opinions. They don't necessarily represent the opinions of management of BitNile or Alt & Company or Alt Alliance or ToddAult.com. But we do love Jordan, and it's good to be the king. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys in May, obviously, at the conference. You will be our special guest. If you're not there, I know where you live. Hey, Jason, any commentary before we go?
Hey, you mentioned, you were comfortable with the business plan, and, I kind of want to show the folks just a little bit of information to remind people that what we did was forecast, one more time to my screen, Nick and Brett, price sensitivity analysis based on the 20,600 Bitcoin miners that we have on schedule, that we have purchase agreements for the year 2022. And part of why Todd's able to sleep well at night, and I like to sleep well at night, is, we forecasted this criteria here from 20,000 Bitcoin up to 65,000 Bitcoin. And if you can see on the screen here, we have the projections based on those scenarios, and with difficulty, actually right around where the difficulty is right now. There could be a reduction in difficulty. That's just my opinion based on what's going on currently. But however, you can see the revenue here based on the sliding scale from 20,000 to 65,000. I just wanted to mention that.
Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot, Jason, for bringing that up. I want to leave you with this thoughts. It's January 7th. It's snowing out here in New York. Well, I don't think it's snowing this minute. I'm going to go. I've been out here for a technical reason, and I'll be here for a while. A little complicated, but hey, you got to travel sometimes in my job. There's a lot happening in 2022, but one thing I can pledge to you for sure is we did a lot of work around getting the Michigan data center. We did a lot of work with the team, and we are committed to mining Bitcoin. We have spent $166+ million on buying miners, might I say, by the way, that are trading at a big premium to where we paid. We have spent money on our data center and our relationship with our power provider. We've done things differently this time. We're committed to it. You're not going to hear us bailing out. Unfortunately, as a trader, as an investor, as a guy who's ran portfolios for a long time, it does look like to me Bitcoin could touch 35,000. I'm sure that'll bring out a lot of panic. It'll be the moment in time where people go, what do I do? That those sellers will dry up and people will have an opportunity to buy, and you'll get back here. I still think we're going to have Bitcoin at over 100,000 a coin. I'm not predicting the future, like the long-term future, but I think in the next 12 months, you'll see Bitcoin at 100,000. Of course, that's just my view. I'm not recommending you buy or sell Bitcoin, but we as a company are committed this time to staying the course. We have our own data center. For all of you who question that we're kind of a Johnny-come-lately, I think we're just getting started, as Jordan said. I think we're just getting started in crypto. I think Bitcoin, like gold, is going to be an important asset. They represent two different kinds of stored value. Kind of love Ethereum here at 3,200. I don't think the use of Ethereum is going away. But one thing for sure, it's going to be interesting for Brett and Nick. We appreciate you guys today. Hope everyone's safe. I know COVID's ramping. I'm concerned. And I hope I don't have it. I was exposed to someone yesterday that does, but I'm taking precautions. I'm in a room, believe it or not, where there's no one around me, and I'm wearing a mask when I'm out of the room. And although I've been exposed before and never got COVID, I wish all of you a speedy recovery you've had. I know that my son has recovered after having it a second time in about 12 to 15 months. Nick and Brett, I appreciate it. Special thanks to It's Good to Be the King, Rip and Dip. I love these guys. You're going to see them at the conference in May. It'll be fun. I'm sure they'll be at the poker tournament, all the things we're doing, the special dinners. We'll have a good time together. Skylar, thank you for being here. Nick and Brett, everyone, will talk to you guys on Monday. I can't hear the music. Is it playing? Are we leaving?
No, have a good weekend, though.
Yes, thank you for having us on.
If you
Hey,
start
Brett,
to feel
what-
sick, get Regeneron.
Brett, what's up with the music?
It's happening.
It's playing right now.
All right, everybody. Hey, we're doing this remotely. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but special thanks to the King and Jordan Rip and Dip. You guys go follow them. Follow the King on Twitter. He's got a great client who's in jazz. I love this guy. And follow Rip and Dip. His show's growing every day. I see more people subscribing to his show. He's down to earth. Everybody, Jason, thank you so much for holding down the fort. We'll see everybody on Monday. Take care.
God bless. Have a good one.
Thanks, guys.